Wilder is not a household name in the South Bay, but at the highest levels of business, government, and public service, they know who he is. For decades, he raised millions of dollars to improve health care in the South Bay. And though it's now his health he has to focus on, it doesn't mean he isn't still thinking of ways to help others.
Good.
Any story about a heroic journey requires one key element. A hero, obviously. But this story, it turns out, has two of them. Yes, there is Chris Wilder working tirelessly to come back from a devastating stroke. But that wouldn't even be a possibility were it not for his wife, Kate. It was Kate, one night in March last year, who recognized that Chris was having that stroke.
Chris had just got up to get something to drink and had walked across the living room to sit down next to me on the couch. And he looked at me, and the right side of his face slumped. And I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke.
Kate called 911 less than a minute later, a move that very well saved her husband's life. Even still, quite a bit of damage had been done. A portion of Chris's brain had to be removed. And Kate says doctors warned her he would likely not just lose the ability to walk, but to even communicate. Which was something, you should know, that Chris Wilder was a bit of a master of.
You know, we've got one of the greatest community of health providers.
As executive director of the Valley Medical Center Foundation for close to 20 years, Chris talked the movers and shakers of Silicon Valley into donating tens of millions of dollars to help hospital patients. And Chris communicated through music, too, even forming a band with his coworkers who played for free whenever a charity needed them.
Tap a card.
But all that is gone, at least for now.
Woke up in the hospital on some day, and I just knew that something bad had happened to me, and I didn't know what it was, but once I became aware of what it was, I realized, oh, well, I guess I'm not playing golf for a while. I guess I'm not playing music for a while.
But Chris hasn't given up on those things. 16 months later, he still works tirelessly at his rehabilitation and is still seeing progress. And Chris hasn't given up on helping others either. When he was able to play with just one hand, he performed to cheer up fellow stroke patients. And Chris just joined the board of the Stroke Awareness Foundation, dedicated to saving the lives and improving the outcomes of stroke victims just like him.
The first thing I want people to know is that you really need to know the signs of a stroke.
So let's help Chris do that right now. We have some of the signs of a stroke: a sudden loss of balance, face that's drooping on one side, is vision blurry, or is one arm or leg weak, and finally, is the speech slurred or strange? If any of those things are the case, time to call 911 immediately.
I suffered a massive stroke on March 6th of 2021. I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for my wife, Kate. She knew the signs of a stroke, and I was lucky that day. I also got lucky because there's a stroke certified center, hospital, right near me, and of course the paramedics knew right where to take me as a result of the work of the Stroke Awareness Foundation. In that situation, every second counts. I'm very grateful to be here and to be defying the odds with my recovery through the help and hard work of my therapists and my doctors. I never really thought much about strokes in the past. It didn't occur to me how prevalent they were until I had one myself. Now I realize how often they happen and how critical it is that the community understand what the signs of a stroke are and how to respond. Again, my wife was there when it happened to me. Quite literally, I sat down on the couch. She looked at me and she saw that my face had slumped. And she asked me if I could raise my arms above my head. And when I couldn't, she knew immediately what was happening. And she dialed 911. So if we can get the message out to people that that's what needs to happen, if you believe that you are someone you love or suspect you are nearby is having a stroke, but there's so much more, and that's why the apps are so critical, and I encourage everyone to download them. Thank you all so much, And again, Chuck, thank you for founding a wonderful organization. Chuck and Noemi for taking a chance on me, and the rest of the board members for welcoming me aboard today. It's an honor.